ToonGrin.
What's wrong, Smolder?
Homework is so frustrating. I'm trying to do this report on Mexico, and I don't know anything about Mexico. Ugh.
Why not watch the news?
We're gonna build a ramp to get over this wall and into America. We're gonna make those gun-toting, hot-dog-eating Americans build and pay for the ramp.
Wow, it's still slightly less cartoonish than the actual Trump.
Well, maybe Mexican Trump isn't the best source of info, but hell, screw homework! Why not base your report off this?
Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico.
Well, some people have told me that this movie's been played in some Spanish classes, so it must have some educational value. And it's got Mexico in the title.
I see no flaw for that gadget. Wait, what's that
Oh!
noise?
I will not have you validating this piece of garbage, obnoxious!
Whyboy, he was just trying to help.
Help? Okay, Smolder, obnoxious. How about if I help too today by teaching you a little lesson
What about?
about how Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico is the worst Scooby-Doo movie?
Can we just do that after my report's done? It's gotta do tomorrow.
No. This has been a long time coming, folks. During my series Scooby-Doo Corner, I've covered countless Scooby-Doo movies. Like one of the dullest Scooby-Doo movies I've ever seen, which has since been upstaged by Haunted Hollywood by tenfold. We've covered all the live-action movies. Not including the pornos, of course, but, you know, never covering those ever.
Oh, but I was getting so moist.
And now we get to talk about the worst Scooby-Doo movie thus far that I despise more than any other. That movie is Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico.
Made during the transition period between Mook Animation and Warner Bros. Animation departments, Monster of Mexico is everything I despise about Scooby-Doo movies, along with everything I despise about regular bad movies. It's a buffet of insulting, misleading, moronic, ineptly written, and, above all else, boring torture. The one thing a movie should not be.
I'm sure you're excited to see me tear this film apart. So let us celebrate Mexican Halloween, as this movie basically puts it, as we look at Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico.
Box art-wise, Monster of Mexico gets a passing grade. It's a dynamic snapshot as Purple Bigfoot rises from the ground. Not sure why he's trying to snatch and grab Shaggy and Scooby's churros, though, but whatever. And the rest of Mystery Incorporated is standing in the background, proving once again no one cared about this cast. They just want the hippie and dog as usual. Overall, B+. And sadly, this shall be the highlight for the movie. But on to this fiesta fail, as we have two supporting characters for this adventure, Aleo and Aleo's child, having a great time in oddly dark shading town, playing instruments that are partially synchronized with the music. That is until the Chihuahua, Chiquita, which almost sounds Mexican enough to be on a Taco Bell menu, is lured away by some cheap-ass stock roar sound effects.
Oh wow, they must have spent a good old $5 on those sound bites.
Then they come across the Chupacabra, which, if you know the myth of the Chupacabra, is more commonly depicted as a cryptid or deformed wild dog, and not depicted as a purple Bigfoot. Plus, the myth was originated in Puerto Rico, not Mexico. This entire movie plays sloppy seconds from the very beginning to where this cultural impact actually originated. That's what I call quality research. And now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your ears on the dullest interpretation of the Scooby-Doo gang.
All right, you got mail. I thought I'd catch you at your computer. So, what do you think?
Of course. I'd love to go to Mexico, yes. I mean, see.
Mexico? The art, the museums, the pyramids. I'm there.
Like, let me check. What have we got tomorrow, Scoob? Let's see. Daydreaming at 10, napping, snoozing, relaxing. Oh, like, sorry, guys. Looks like I'm booked.
Yeah, looked.
Awful. Just awful.
I guess it's one of the first times I can really say this about a Scooby-Doo movie, but the voice direction is terrible. I know these actors have played the game before. They're all veterans in playing these roles. But here, they each have been given the direction to enunciate softer and slower, which drains the energy from their performances. It is so boring listening to them talk to each other, especially Daphne.
Sorry, guys. I was afraid to go to sleep and thought some Latin rhythms would calm me down. Looks like Alejo's stories riled everyone.
Ugh, kill me.
It takes a special kind of suck to make voice actors who've been playing their characters for decades to suck this bad.
But anyway, the gang gets invited by Alejo to come visit him at his villa in Mexico. And it's perfect timing too, as they'll be there for the Day of the Dead celebration.
Like, what's that?
A holiday in which families gather at the cemetery and celebrate their ancestors, who are allowed to come back to Earth for 2 days.
Cemetery? Sounds scary.
Not at all. Just a bunch of kids in costumes, lots of skeleton-shaped cookies and candy.
Basically, it's non-stop eating.
Sounds like Halloween.
Exactly.
No, it's not Mexican Halloween. Idiot.
It irks me they're simplifying it to just, it's Halloween, exactly. But you're gonna soon find out the theme of Americans not knowing Mexico is kind of a prevalent theme in this movie. So they're off to Mexico in a nice little montage of scenes mirroring Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire, another boring as dirt movie, until they reach Alejo's beautiful villa, where he introduces the gang to his wife, his mother, and his children.
Jorge, Oliver, Natalia, Cristina, Fernanda, Carolina, Mirelia, Gabriela, and Sebastián.
Wow! Are they all your children?
God, no! Alejo then introduces the gang to his brother, the human incarnation of Droopy Dog, after being punched in the face, and his very American wife, Charlene.
Ain't that I just love these loco customs. Oh, loco, that's crazy in Mexican. I mean Spanish.
Things seem to be going normal. The gang is connecting with the family. A very polite businessman helps spot that Alejo's land is sought after, and then the family tells the gang about the Chupacabra.
Did you say monster?
Yes, the locals call him El Chupacabra.
I've read about him. He's Mexico's version of the Bigfoot.
Yep, that one section on Wikipedia. Great research, Velma. And of course, the tale of the purple Bigfoot spooks the gang into a restless night, but it seems their lack of sleep is warranted as footprints are found right outside their window. Ooh. So with Aleo's business on the line, the gang along with Aleo and Droopy set out to solve the mystery by first making a documentary with Daphne's exquisite cardboard bland narration.
A seesaw, a jungle gym, a merry-go-round. At first glance, this modest playground looks like any other. But the children here in Veracruz are fearful and have good reason to be. El Chupacabra.
Now, one may ask while watching this scene, why?
Supposedly, they're asking the locals so they can get a clear understanding of what the monsters look like for their investigation.
A gorilla! A bear! An alien!
What does El Chupacabra do?
Eats goats. Destroys crops.
He's a bully!
Excuse me? Just a few minutes ago, Aleo was giving that witness testimony directly to you.
He stands nearly 10 feet tall and walks on 2 hind legs. He is covered with thick fur, has the face of a hideous monkey with huge paws and sharp fangs, and his eyes glow green like those of a demon.
So, maybe asking for his physical appearance is a tad redundant, don't you think? How about you ask a better question, like, where they saw the monster?
30 minutes into the movie, and the characters don't even know where to look for clues! I would suggest going back to the spot where Leo first came across the Chupacabra, but nah, that makes sense. Let's just move on and find the gang staring in shock at a threat written on the mystery machine in Spanish.
Yikes! What does that mean in English?
Leave today or you won't see tomorrow. Is that right, Alejo?
Unfortunately, your translation is correct.
We better get out of here now.
That's just an embarrassing animation error. Or maybe the Mystery Machine's doors do open in both directions for that extra suicide door convenience. So not deterred by the threat, Mystery Gang continues investigating by deciding to split up and look for clues. First, Aleo and Droopy. Good. Shaggy and Scooby stay with the Mystery Machine, which is then sabotaged and sent on an uncontrollable wheeling rampage through the city. Top notch. And now Fred, Daphne, and Velma meet this random medicine man and ask him what he knows about the Chupacabra. I'd ask why we're questioning random medicine men for non-specific information about the Chupacabra. Can you just pretend there's an actual through line to this mystery?
The answers to all your questions can be found in the past. Oh, and did I also mention you're in grave danger?
No. I think you skipped that part.
You're in grave danger.
Oh yeah, that ain't suspicious. FYI, he actually isn't the culprit. That was just some horrendously written exposition. Speaking of horrendous, the Chupacabra Attacks!
Wow, that would almost be antagonizing if the roars didn't sound like they were ripped off an iPod mini that took a dunk in the toilet.
So we get a bit of chasing, a bit of traditional Scooby-Doo slapstick, ending with a quick save from Shaggy and Scooby, but what now? They escaped the monster and now they literally have no idea where to go.
Look! Discover the mysteries of Mexico's past.
Visit the Museum of Anthropology.
What better place than a museum to learn about the past?
Perfect! And we should be able to get there by morning.
Seriously? You couldn't come up with a better reason for them to go to a museum than the villain changed that sign to direct them getting there? Why are they even at the museum? I thought the Chupacabra was terrorizing the townspeople in villas. Just because some random crusty old guy says to look in the past, you go there?
I know this sounds like a constant rag, but the movie just seems to continuously forget what Mystery Incorporated is. They are a group of mystery solvers! So can we try to have a cohesive mystery along with them?
So at the museum, while eloquently riding little scooters with these gross bump filters on them, The gang is stopped by this tour guide who shows the gang a show about ancient civilizations in Mexico and a magic trick. Wanted, she makes a useless damsel disappear.
Daphne!
She's gone.
So, oh no, Daphne's been kidnapped again. All the gang can do now is follow the hidden trapdoor to follow the kidnappers through this mile-long staircase / super slide. Okay, this is a stupid scene, which brings up questions like how did the kidnappers traverse all this in less than a few minutes to get Daphne to where she ends up? I can have some suspension of disbelief. I suspend belief that Shaggy's never been caught with his secret stash and that Scooby can talk, but you are basically bending the laws of time to make this add up. But I'll ignore this for now, because this is just small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. The gang finally get off the super slide and arrive at the Mayan pyramids, where they find Daphne in the most death-defying situation. Her hands loosely tied up on top of a pyramid she can easily walk down from. The horrors!
This is a faux pas kidnapping. I mean, this puts us real kidnappers to shame. Where is the effort to take your captives and skin them alive to send the grieving family sandwiches filled with our captives' meat? Oh, for shame. For shame. What's wrong with you?
Anyway, the gang saves Daphne, and they were just gonna leave the pyramids as there is nothing mystery-related to do here, until they are framed for destroying one of the statues by this magical, obviously mechanical talking eagle.
Do not believe their lies. When the cage lifts, you must run them out of here before they completely ruin the ruins.
Get out of your suspension of disbelief. There's no place for you here in this movie. I feel better now.
1. That's almost insultingly obviously a mechanical bird. 2. If the plot point here is supposed to be that these terrorists are tricked by this bird to go after the gang, why make the bird so fake looking that it wouldn't even be believable in their own reality? And I don't say that lightly, as the next scene shows robots as well, but ones that don't obviously look like robots, so why is this one so crap? 3. Yeah, let's believe that talking, magical, mechanical eagle. One of Scooby-Doo's running themes in a lot of its movies and shows is skepticism. Velma and Fred are usually beacons of that. So why in this movie has everyone just believed magic at face value and they're investigating the Chupacabra as if it was an actual thing?
It's a sucky thing when your suspension disbelief is trodden all over by a barrage of suckiness.
We finally make it past the animatronics, who unfortunately never stuffed the stupid gang into death suits, for a scene of first a completely superficial romance scene of Scooby and Chiquita,
which shall be swiftly ruined for you with the help of Harold the Devil. Cheerio. And sausage. Any questions?
Next, we have a scene of Leo's family saying Charlene was kidnapped with the Chupacabra off screen. Oh no, an actual scene that would have been plot relevant. Do you think they should have left it in? And the gang finally sit down and actually discuss the mystery. Oh, thank you. Finally, we can work out all this barely attached nothing into maybe a cohesive mystery. Now, let's begin.
The footprints leading away from the cottage suggested El Chupacabra was scared off once Shaggy alerted the rest of us.
Huh, some monster. He was okay scaring Scoob and me, but chickened out when there were more of us.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a fake.
I don't think we can rule out the supernatural.
Is this not even Mystery Inc.?
Given how many monsters they've unmasked over the years, why are they so adamant that the supernatural is still a viable answer? I get that with some of the Scooby-Doo movies that there is indeed some supernatural elements in them, but even there we have skepticism from the likes of Velma about it, And these idiots are claiming it may be the supernatural, even when they just previously established that business people have a stake to claim by spooking off tourists to kill businesses with the Chupacabra? Nearly every mystery these kids have ever solved was caused by some jerkwad who wants to scare people off for some sort of monetary gain. Be skeptics! Look for the most plausible answer, don't be tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists! Ugh, okay, breakdown of the rest of the mystery. The culprit who wrote the thread on the mystery machine appears to not speak Spanish from noticing a lack of an accent on a word. This is confirmed when that same culprit makes a spooky fake ghost while Leo's father appear, and he speaks English through it.
I have learned that El Chupacabra is the result of an evil curse placed upon our land.
That doesn't look or sound anything like my father. Someone is playing a trick on us.
You'd think the culprit would have at least made the ghost look like Aleo's dad. But clearly...
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
He ain't that smart. And he also makes the second Wizard of Oz reference.
Coyotes?
And jaguars?
And boars.
Oh my!
Shut up!
So now they have captured the skull-faced guy, but who 'twas this maniac all along? It was Mr. Smiley! Who's that? Oh, now I remember. He was that guy who appeared on the billboards for like 20 seconds collectively.
Now ain't that a satisfying twist, folks? A character we never even met, did it? Wow, I feel so satisfied now for solving this one.
Can't you see? Many of them don't understand your foreign language. Speaking Spanish might help.
Well, I don't know how to speak Spanish. Why can't everyone just learn English?
Wow, two major things wrong with that. First, Alea was just speaking English to those same townspeople.
That doesn't look or sound anything like my father. Someone is playing a trick on us.
What's up with that? And second, I think this makes Smiley the first ever racist Scooby-Doo villain. Neat.
Now, what was his motive for doing all this? He wanted to drive tourists to go to his theme park instead of the pyramids and other local businesses. Seems counterintuitive, honestly, when logically being set up close to a national landmark would instantly boost your projected profit margin for your business. But what do I know about basic fundamental business practices? But yeah, he ate the Chupacabra.
Hold on for a second.
The super tour guide is. But who is this tour guide?
None other than someone who can rival the pure evil of a fat, greedy American businessman. Another American!
Charlene!
So they were both arrested. Hurrah! And the Day of the Dead or Mexican Halloween celebrations can continue with the gang cha-cha-chaing to the groovy beat to close out this horribly dull adventure.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Adios!
And that was Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, what I consider to be the worst Scooby-Doo movie. Now, to wrap up, we gotta ask ourselves the tougher question first. Was there anything good in this movie? Well,
the mystery portion of the movie has potential now that I analyze it more closely. The multiple tidbits on the culprit's lack of knowledge of Mexico and its legend speaks volumes of creating a very clear perpetrator. But firstly, the mystery beats around the bush way too much, delaying, relocating, and just plain ignoring a clear path to the beginning and end of the mystery, making any intelligent point in the clues presented fall flat on its face. This is not helped by the aesthetic of the visual design, voice work, and music and sound design being all so boring. Visually, the animation of the characters is oddly fluid, but in a slow sense, making the characters move sluggishly on screen. The shadowing on the models looks too simplistic and unfinished, which creates a clash of colors between what should be the bright colors of Day of the Dead, with instead just the dark blacks of all the shadowing. And I don't think I need to reiterate how disappointingly stale the voice work was and how cheap the sound effects were. I could literally find an exact soundbite of every effect in this movie on YouTube, and they would all be better quality than in this movie. Not to mention the movie's pathetic attempts at emulating the Mexican culture just comes across as shallow, misinforming, misrepresenting, and glossed over in every single tidbit they tried to speak about Mexico. With this, I hope you can see why I consider this to be the worst Scooby-Doo movie. Writing-wise, technical-wise, and series-wise, Monster of Mexico does everything wrong. Even when it is almost right, its own execution turns it into the wrong thing, and also can be easily skewed as being slightly racist. If you want to learn more about Mexico from now on, kids, don't turn to this movie or even just Wikipedia. Research it yourself. Show that you care about the topic enough to spend time on it. Be what this movie was not towards Mexico.
Well, Smolder, I hope that really taught you that you should put real care into your research.
I sure did, Whyboy. Look at my report now.
That'll do, Smolder. That'll do.
Viva